guys, if you type your country in the chat box, just for us to help us to fine-tune also culturally. France, thank you for sharing. Switzerland. All right. Libya, US, Spain, Madrid. Hola. More people joining. Netherlands. All right. India, Yemen. I said that. Okay. Kenya, very diverse. Okay, so I will start. And if others will join, then I'm happy. I prefer to be on time. Samar, welcome. Thank you. Emilio, I'm happy to see you here. All right. Ready? I'm going. Ready? All right. Welcome to the secret of creating attractive LinkedIn content, an event organized to introduce you to the engagement circle. In this event, you learn the tested and proven strategies to variate your content, the content feed, in a way that makes your audience addicted to your posts. Today's agenda, it's a very rich agenda. We have a content block on the secret of creating attractive LinkedIn content, and I will give you details about the speaker. Today we have an amazing speaker. We will talk also about, I will introduce you to a strategy for lead generation. We will have a Q&A block. And then we will have two spotlights, two amazing professionals joining us from Switzerland and Kenya to share their experience on LinkedIn. This event is recorded and you will have access via link, and you will receive this link to your inbox. And so if you did not register through the classical channels, like if you didn't leave your email, just please make sure to type your email into the chat box so you receive the recording and additional resources. And I have two questions, and I want to start with these questions before introducing the speaker. Is your LinkedIn content attracting views and engagement effortlessly? The truth. I want you guys to answer the truth. Yes or no in the chat box. Sometimes. All right. Yes. Not as much as I would like. Yes. Oh, that's a good balance here. No, sometimes. All right. Thanks for playing with me. I have another question. Ready for that? Do you ever wonder if anyone really finds your content interesting? I do wonder. I have to be honest, I want very often, right? Indeed. Yes, I do. All right. All right. Okay. So I want to introduce you to the speaker, Pauliina Rasi, seasoned copywriter and content strategist, shares today with us her tips on how to set up an interesting content plan alongside plenty of real life examples to learn from. I know it will be funny. With 20 years of experience as journalist and communications consultant, she has helped dozens of mission-driven organizations to take their content marketing success to the next level. Her super skill include turning any topic, no matter how boring, into an engaging and understandable piece of content. No further ado, Pauliina, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Ramona, for that lovely intro, and thank you for having me here today. It's lovely to see familiar faces and also new faces and new names. So a pleasure to meet all of you who I haven't had a chance to meet previously. So as Ramona said, today I'll be sharing my secrets, strategies I've tested and tried and tested for myself, but also for my clients to create interesting and engaging content. And well, I have a slide deck I share with you because it allows me to show you some of the best examples I found on LinkedIn. I had really a lot of fun when I was researching for this presentation today. Just there we are, perfect. But it was also not an easy task always. But today we will talk about secrets to create LinkedIn content that people actually follow, that they like, that they connect with, so that you can use that content and content marketing to promote your business, promote your career, promote a mission that's close to you, whatever your goals are. And if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat. I hope, Ramona, if you can help me monitor the chat. And then, like Ramona said, we will have a Q&A block in the end. So you will have all your questions answered. And if by any chance we run out of time, I'm always happy to continue the discussion one-to-one afterwards as well. A few words about me, even though you will learn that your content shouldn't be all about you. So I promise I won't be talking too long about myself either. My background is in journalism, so I'm a passionate writer. For me, my work has been revolving around writing in one way or another for the past 20 years. Nowadays, I work as an independent copywriter and communications consultant with independent businesses, professionals, small businesses, startups who need help getting their message across in today's saturated digital landscape. And today we will start with some content strategy basics. So what are the basic elements, the foundations that you need to get your content strategy off the ground? And the biggest part of my time, I will be talking about the interesting examples of LinkedIn content that I've come across in the last few days and weeks. And towards the end, we talk a little bit about the next steps. So how can you start implementing these ideas and turn all these ideas and all this inspiration into amazing content for your followers? But before we really dive into the juicy stuff, I want to cover some content marketing basics. This is my secret sauce to powerful content that drives your business. And just if by any chance you're not a business owner, but you maybe work for a nonprofit, or you want to leverage LinkedIn to help with your career progress or build your personal brand, just replace the word business by whatever goals you have. You really need 3 key ingredients. First of all, a unique message, an interesting message that tells how you, your business, your solution can make this world a better place. Secondly, you need to understand your audience. I believe many of you, when Ramona was asking for questions and what you would like us to cover today, talked about engagement, like how to have people engage. And it really comes down to understanding your audience. What is engaging for them? What could resonate with them? What's in it for them? Because that's a question your followers, your readers, people who come across your posts will be asking themselves, like, what's in it for me? And then thirdly, you need a strategic focus, because we are busy people. We want to do tons of other things in our lives as well. So if you want to get results without immersing yourself on LinkedIn 24/7, you will need to have a strategic focus. So you have enough time to run your business, to work with your fantastic clients, and for all the other amazing things in your life as well. So when you're setting up your strategy, when you go back to your LinkedIn content after today's event, think about your message, your audience, and what is really your business goal, most important business goal. Where is your business focus? And that's my secret sauce to create powerful content that drives your goals as well. And then a few words about my method. So when I work with my clients, I approach content from 3 different perspectives. So when you want to turn your content into clients, you need, first of all, to plan correctly. That's a strategy part that we very briefly tapped into just a while ago. You will need quality content production. So that's a part we are talking the most about today, how to produce, how to create quality content. But then there's also this third element that many of us tend to forget, and that's often where things go wrong, so to speak. So if you're struggling to get those views, if you're struggling to get those reactions, and you feel like you're just shouting and doing a lot of stuff on LinkedIn, but nobody listens, the problem might be with the promotion. Because when you have a plan, you know exactly what you want to do with your content, you have your quality content and those great ideas produced, you still need to promote your content. And well, we will come back to this more on the second half of this event today when we talk about engagement and engagement circles. So you will hear more about that today as well. But just to give you a big picture, what are really the three things to think about when you're working on your content strategy? But then to the question of the day, is LinkedIn content doomed to be dull? Because when I browse my LinkedIn feed, and I would like to know if it's the same for you, I get a lot of this stuff. Irrelevant ads that I couldn't care less about, humble bragging when companies are telling how diverse and amazing they are, and sometimes they put their employees there to brag about them for you. A lot of me. This is what we do. This is what we have created. This is what we have launched. We want you to hear about this too. And when I started doing background research for today, the first few minutes I was going to like, okay, there must be something more interesting than this. And there is. And if you want to go from boring to booming, I will now share 10 great ideas, great practices and examples that I found. These are really from the past couple of weeks on LinkedIn. And I'm happy to share the links to these exact posts with you afterward if you're interested, also to give credit to the amazing creators. But here come the best 10 best posts that I came across when I was doing background research. And we start with making things fun and light through games. This is a post from a campaign, actually a launch campaign to some kind of program or challenge. And it was really great because it's so engaging. It's a word game, a little bit like Scrabble, or there are tons of different games like Wordle and what are there. And when you look at this picture, what happens in your mind? Can someone unmute themselves and tell me what happens instantly when you see this? Or what happened to you? Maybe it's a different thing than what happened to me.
You instantly want to find out what's the spelling, how does it work? You want to find the missing words.
I want to play the game.
Absolutely.
I want to see if I can beat whoever else is out there and guess the word.
Exactly. And that's why it is so fantastic, because it immediately engages. And whether you figure out the word or not, it works, because if you can't figure it out, it really stays with you. Or if you find the word, it gives you this instant rush of endorphins, and like, yay, I'm the winner. So not necessarily always easy to come up with, but if you can add this kind of games in your content, even every now and then, it can really do wonders to the engagement.
You're going to tell us the word?
Yes, I want to know what the word.
Honestly, I couldn't figure it out myself either, which shows how captivating it is.
I think it's adapting.
Adapting. Oh, yeah. Adopting or adapting?
Adapting, yeah.
I'm saying adapting.
I think adopting.
It could be both. It could be both. It was about inclusivity and diversity and inclusion. So I guess adapting might work. Well, both might work, actually. And then another one, I'm going to see if I can actually show you this post live, because it's a video. Can you see my screen now? Because this is, so the poster is Miranda Crowhurst. Her work revolves around the English language, and her videos are hilarious. Can you hear this now?
No sound.
Yeah, wait a second. I have to, yes.
Water. Now let's really concentrate on that T. Oh my gosh, who knew T? Hey, British English. Yes, Australia. I've heard you say water. But all water. Yes, but now that billions of people are learning English as their second or other language, it's important that we're all on the same page. Water. that we'll just have to do. Listen, the next one is tough, so we'll take it step by step. Ready? Ow, ow, you, min, aluminium, aluminum. Oh, no.
So she's really fantastic with her videos. They are fun, they are to the point, and really help highlight her expertise as a language teacher as well. So, and again, they are very memorable. I don't even know her. I've never worked with her, but her videos really make her very, very memorable. Third example today I want to share with you was from Melanie Goodman, who is, well, a LinkedIn expert as well. And this is a great example because what she's doing, she's actually asking something. She's asking her followers to vote for her in some kind of competition or for some kind of prize. But what really stood out for me was the beginning of this post. She doesn't just start with, I'm so proud and humble of being nominated, please vote for me. But she starts with, I'm sorry, but it's just far too cringy to write a post saying how delighted and honored I am. So she turns it around completely. And it was a really great way to approach and stand out, because often on your feed you also only see the first lines. So had she started with this post with a traditional, I'm so delighted and honored to be a finalist in this and that competition, people might not have even read further than the first 2 or 3 lines. But turning it around, adding a twist, and even admitting that you're maybe a little bit bothered or unsure of something, it can really make a difference. Then the next one is a traditional carousel that we are seeing more and more on LinkedIn, but we definitely would have more space for LinkedIn for this kind of content as well. This is a rather typical piece of content, 4 ways to protect your original ideas. But it works for 2 reasons. First of all, it's very value driven. So your posts don't always have to be super innovative or different when you just add value to where your clients need it most. And the second reason why this type of content works is that at least now carousels get a great reach on LinkedIn because people dwell on those. The so-called dwell time is long because people go and click further and stay longer with your posts. So sometimes you can get a lot more reach and a lot more visibility for your posts only by playing the game and using the content formats that work right at this moment. As a traditional text only or a text and a short one visual kind of post, this might not have worked as well with exactly the same content. So be ready to play the game and use the content formats and types that work at this moment. Another example that works right now are newsletters. Newsletters tend to get a much bigger reach and a better reach than articles for the time being, at least on LinkedIn. So if you're working on articles and you have great content, like here, for example, the topic of women, children and work in Switzerland, it must be highly valuable for the readers of Catherine Leduc. But when you turn your articles into newsletters, it can help you get them in front of even more people. Again, it's not a question of doing something dramatically different, but playing with what works right now to get your content in front of your audience. And as we talked in the beginning, it all starts from adding value and it all starts from understanding your audience. But with these kind of few tweaks and twists, you can get just better results for the hours that you're putting in when you're working on your content. Another content format that works incredibly well are polls. And polls tend to get a good reach and a nice engagement. It's probably the easiest way to have people react with your content, but only when you're using right kind of polls. Keep your polls easy and engaging. Like here, Moosend, it's a marketing agency, and they have a very simple question. Do you add gifts to your emails? Yes or no? Because often we see also polls that are far too complicated. They are too long, they have too complicated answering options, and you really have to think about it before you can answer. There's nothing wrong with having in-depth content if that's aligned with your brand. But if you want people to engage, you also need to be respectful of their time and doing stuff that's easy for them to engage with. So don't dumb your content down. I'm not saying that, but create easy and fun posts every now and then as well, and keep the options easy and simple. Here it's a very typical type of post, sharing an article, but the reason why I chose this one as an example was that the point of view is again a little bit different. We are talking about startups and growth, and what is our first impulse when we think about startups and growth? Probably that everybody wants to grow. But James here has turned it around and shared an article with a title, "This startup doesn't want to grow." So when you're talking about topics that are important for your audience and you want your articles to be seen, or here it was not actually even his article, but it was a news story that he wanted to share with his audience, search for point of views that stand out and are a little bit different. And it can really, really make a difference. Then this one I changed. I put it in today because it was just so much fun. It's an actual joke. So tell jokes. 2 ad executives get in a car. The first says, "I saw an ad for Aston Martin and bought this car." The second says, "But they haven't advertised for years. How's that possible?" And then they take the discussion to be 95 rule, which states that 95% of potential buyers aren't ready to buy today. So by all means, tell jokes when they are linked to what you actually want to tell. So no jokes for joke's sakes, no stupid polls just for reach's sake. But when you find that sweet spot between being funny and entertaining and adding value, you're really tapping into something great. And a couple of last examples. Don't be afraid of going the extra mile and doing something different at times. So this, for example, is a post promoting a free checklist to check that you're not killing your audience with your slide deck. And the image here is, well, maybe not what you would usually expect from a slide deck checklist. So dare to go the extra mile and do something different. Here you can also play a lot with holidays. Like I could imagine this going down very well around Halloween or another theme day. So remember to be tactful. So you don't want to go too far, but not taking yourself so seriously every now and then can really make a difference. And the final one, even when you want, so this is an ad, so even when you want to promote and sell, put your audience in the spotlight. This is an ad for a marketing agency, Bow, and it states, if you see this ad again, take it as a sign. So they are insinuating that if people see their ads more than once, they should maybe contact them and, well, talk about collaboration. But again, it's funny. It's light and it puts you in the center. It's not about we are doing this so well, we are so good at this, even though they obviously are, because this ad is well, it's here and it's fun and it's really well made. But whenever you can, put your audience in the center. So those were the 10 examples I found. Are there some questions, Ramona, that we would need to address before going to the recap and next steps?
Yes, there were a couple of questions. One was how to create a carousel. It was more like a technical one rather than content related. And then the hashtags strategy, which I think it's pretty clever. And maybe we can touch, I was actually answering Netta to keep this question to discuss a little bit more in the Q&A block. because I
definitely.
think that you can add on top of that in terms of engagement. I just give a quick tip on how to combine it, keeping an eye on the chatbot and on the questions.
Yeah, perfect. Well, maybe to answer very quickly the carousel one, you can use whatever you're using to create your visuals. I'm personally a fan of Canva, but I also have clients who, for example, create slide decks because they are very familiar with PowerPoint or Google Slides, and they use that and they have the branded slides and it can be easy for them. The important thing to keep in mind is that you need to export it as a PDF. So then you can add it as a document, which will then show up as a carousel. So I hope that helps. If it doesn't, let me know. I can also, show a quick run through if needed. But the keyword is PDF. So when you have a PDF, you upload it as a document and it shows up as a carousel. And yeah, we can come back to the hashtag question towards the end with pleasure. Okay, so to recap the secret ingredients, because now I run you through really a mass of examples, and you might be asking yourself, okay, what is the red thread? What is really the common denominator between all these things? Well, of course, all these are just ideas, and you will need to make them yours, and you will need to make them match your brand. But when you're thinking about making your content interesting, here are the 5 key ingredients that are present and visible in all of the examples I showed you. The sense of humor. When you can make people laugh, or maybe laugh at yourself every now and then, it can be really attractive and really create that engagement. Secondly, putting the clients in the center, not being about me, and us all the time, but making it more about them, trying to swap some eyes to use every now and then. Try to be encouraging rather than commanding. It can be very off-putting when professionals come and tell what to do, like do this, do that. I guess you're doing this wrong. So whenever you can, try to approach an encouraging approach, like how you can make this even better. Because if you're on LinkedIn, it probably means that your audience are smart, educated people who already are doing a lot of amazing stuff for their businesses, their brands, their careers. So keep that in mind and try to level with them and encourage and help them do things even better. Then pick the best format. So when you have that amazing message, you have those creative, humoristic ideas, leverage the content format that work on your platform of choice. So on LinkedIn, it can be newsletters, carousels, polls. Probably a year from now, it's something a little bit different. So we need to stay awake there, but try to figure out which formats work and use those. And focus on the positive. Humor works usually when you're laughing with your audience, not at your audience. It can work if you're laughing at yourself, but don't laugh at your audience. Focus on things that they can do well. Focus on the positive impact that your business can make rather than the disasters you're helping them avoid, because that's a way to connect with your audience in a positive way. And when creating content, keep in mind a few content creation basics. Remember to stay consistent. If you feel overwhelmed with staying consistent and publishing often, remember that you don't need to be there every day. Consistency is not the same thing as frequency. For someone, once a week or twice a month can be consistent, but just try to find a rhythm that works for you and your audience. Whenever you can, set up a content creation routine and stay tuned to your audience. Stay really open to discussion. Maybe ask a question every now and then to figure out what they want and what's helpful for them. And every now and then leave room for surprises. I'm all about planning and all about having a solid routine and a solid strategy, but it's okay to have empty slots in your content plan every now and then and just coming up with something that's topical, that's funny, that's light. For example, our Ramona here is a great example of sometimes changing what you're posting. You've been posting amazing, more personal updates recently. And I'm not sure if Irvin is still here. I saw you a while ago. You've been creating a lot of really moving, touching personal posts recently as well. So it's okay to not really always steer on the same line, and changes and surprise your audience every now and then as well. And I'm trying to speak quickly to make sure we have enough time for questions and everything else we want to cover today. So in terms of next steps, I want to take you back to this image for a while to remind you again that we talked about content production today, and it's a big block of what you want to do when you're using your content to drive your business and get more clients. But don't forget to come back to basics and rework your strategy every now and then, at least 2 to 4 times a year, just to tweak and adjust. And when you focus on your content production, leave time and space also for promoting your content, to get it in front of new audiences. And well, I let maybe Ramona speak more about engagement, but that's one really great promotional tactic, is to engage with other people's content and get more visibility to your profile and to your work that way. And if you struggle with consistency and finding time for your content creation, I want to share with you my free monthly event that's called Content Circle. And you can find more information in that address, but I maybe just quickly show you the landing page. Content Circle is a monthly co-working session for anybody who wants to work on their content. And I'm just trying to get my my landing page pulled up. So on my website under pauliinarasi.com/content-circle, you find more info about the event and the next dates. The next one will happen in October, on October 11th. And it's really a good moment to carve out time for your content creation. We are entrepreneurs, content creators, communicators, and we all work there on our own content, on our own stuff. But having other people on the call can be really helpful with accountability. We share ideas with each other. If you have questions about content marketing or content creation, I'm happy to help you, and often other participants have great insights to share as well. So if you're ever struggling with finding time and really staying consistent with your content, join me and others in the Content Circle once a month to make space and make time for that content creation. It really helps you in setting up that steady routine as well. And if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. And if you are not connected on LinkedIn yet, it would be a pleasure to connect with you. And now I hand the floor back to Ramona, and I'm open for your questions if you have some. Thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you, Ramona, for having me.
Thank you, Pauliina. And I think the Content Circle is a great idea, because one of the things that I experience personally is this loneliness on LinkedIn, right? We feel like we are connected, but as a matter of fact, we are alone on our own offices doing the stuff. And sometimes when you have a place where to go to focus on a task, to get it done, it's so productive, it's so effective. So I'm so happy with the engagement circle. I've been there a couple of times, and it's like an explosion of ideas. So I want to give 5 minutes for questions, something address it to Pauliina's sharing content ideas, other things, and then I'll just come in a little bit with the lead generation part. Who wants to unmute themselves and ask a few questions? So, or yeah, Neta, yes, please.
Yes, I had a question about the hashtags, as in like being new, I mean, not exactly new on LinkedIn, but then getting new to promote your own business. How do you understand which tags work for your posts? Because sometimes I see new people coming and instantly their post gets thousands of likes, and it kind of really amazes me. How does it happen?
Well, I think it's a bigger question than only hashtags. Hashtags can definitely help you get your post in front of right people, and also they can help you elevate your own brand. But probably for somebody to have thousands of likes and comments, it also requires a big audience and a lot of history in terms of publication. So there are all those things. Well, the boring part of this is that it's kind of a trial and error kind of process in a way that you will need to test your hashtags. And I believe, Ramona, you already answered about the number. Yeah, you recommended three hashtags. I often recommend between 3 and 5 as well, because we are not on Instagram, and it already gets you a good focus. Couple of tips when you're choosing your hashtags: try to think up one that's unique to you, so you can use it to brand all your content. So it can be your business name if your business name is unique enough. If not, it can be something a little bit different to make it unique. So then you can also, let's say your hashtags were LinkedIn lead machine. Let's just take that for an argument's sake. And when people click on that, they will get all your posts on a certain topics, but it needs to be unique so they don't get a lot of other LinkedIn stuff there as well. So it's one thing. And then do some testing. And I often recommend picking maybe couple. If you have, let's say you have three keywords, pick maybe couple that are more general to get a wider reach, and try to pick one that's more niche, so that then for people following that niche, you stay relevant for a longer time. And then if you want to add a fourth, then the fourth could be your unique hashtag. Perfect. Thanks for a great question. It's indeed an important part of your strategy, and it can really help you get, again, your amazing content in front of a bigger audience, because sometimes it's a real pity when you spend a lot of time creating quality content and then only a handful of people sees that.
Hi, Pauliina. This is Arun here. I'm talking you from Kuwait. Basically, it's not a question. Basically, I have seen your presentation, and I thought, like, see, I'm a recruiter by profession. So I create posts that are basically into recruitment space and our HR space. So if you could add into that the presentation, you have to focus on your core area, like what you said, 3 or 5 hashtags. That's like the KPIs or KRIs, right? So you have to focus on those areas which you want to promote your business. That means your specialty. And I think that was missing in the presentation. That's a root or the basic thing, right? So just wanted to add that, if it's okay for you. That's it, that's it, pretty much it.
Yeah, thanks for joining and thanks for commenting. Absolutely. Knowing your audience and knowing what is your specialization, who are the people who are following you, and more importantly, who are the people you would want to follow you. Who are they? What are they interested in? What matters to them? Whether it's your clients or, well, depending on what you work on for in the recruitment business, it must be both with clients and the candidates. But whoever it is for your business, knowing your audience and setting up your strategy aligned with that is, of course, crucial. Any other questions?
I do have a question, Pauliina.
Yes, please, Samara.
In fact, as an entrepreneur, I created hashtag with my name, LinkedIn by Summer Siala. In my opinion, and I want to know your opinion as well as an expert in this field. In my opinion, creating such a tag, nobody knows. It's only for me. And I start to put that just today in my post, that kind of hashtag, to facilitate for people when they want to see all my posts. They just click on it, so they can find everything that's related to LinkedIn by Summer Siala. So what do you think about it? Is it something that really, also to Ramona and the algorithm of LinkedIn, how that will work? Is it helpful for more views or only for searching for the posts that I created?
Well, I let Ramona tackle the algorithm part, but from the audience engagement part, I think it's great, because then somebody who comes across your post and want to find out more about using LinkedIn in their job search, then they can easily find more tips. And you could even have, on top of that, you could have, I believe now you are having this headline series on how to update your headline. You could even have another hashtag for that series only, so people could then find the headline tips more easily. So if you're running campaigns or anything like that, you could have even more. LinkedIn by Marciala, it's a tad long, so if it were a little bit shorter, it would be even better, but I do know that it's very hard to come up with short and unique hashtags, so it's at least it's clear, and it must be unique to you, so that's really great. Well, Ramona, I hand it over to you for the algorithm part of the question.
Yeah, we'll take a minute to answer, Summer, because I think it's important. And then I will talk a little bit about lead generation, because I think that these are all tips for good lead generation also. So, for example, if you are training one of your clients and you want to give them some tips without investing too much time, you can lead them toward that hashtag in order to show them all the tips that you gave for free educational content that they can consume at their own pace and save you some time. So that's one strategy. And yes, the algorithm prize you if you have a certain number of followers. So it's at certain levels, you have more reach, up to 10% more reach if you have followers to your hashtag. So you can run campaigns around having followers to your own hashtag. So that's the two way I use my own hashtag. Once to educate my audience. So I just lead them and say, go there and see the post on XYZ because it's on my hashtag. Or second, I try to have more following so I have more reach on LinkedIn. All right? Clear enough? Yeah, there's a lot to say about the hashtags because everything has to make sense within a strategy, which is crafted, mastered for your goals, right? So I want to add something very quickly, a couple of minutes just to introduce you to some amazing professionals. So content creation, awareness, visibility is just part of the LinkedIn game. And please, if you have more questions and you want to discuss more, we always say those 5-10 minutes toward the end. So we have another spot for Q&A. So it's just part of the game, a very important part. The other part is the lead generation. And my question is always, do you have a clear strategy for that? It is really important. So very quickly in the chat box, yes or no, truthfully, do you have a clear strategy for your lead generation? Yeah, I always want to engage and assess a little bit the audience. And while you type that, I just want to tell you a little bit, why am I doing this? So I'm Ramona Tufaru. I'm the founder of the LinkedIn Lead Machine and the Engagement Circle. And my gift is in the triggered pain of not being seen, not being loved, and not being wanted. And in my work, what I do for emerging professionals, for people that have a purpose, is I set the stage for these professionals to be seen, to be loved, and to be wanted. Yeah. And one of the stages is LinkedIn. And I will share you a simple strategy connecting to what Pauliina said. So once you created content and you have a plan for that and you're consistent, you need promotion. And sometimes it's hard to understand the algorithm, to pass through all the things that these platforms put against us. Like you really need to understand certain things in order to promote your content. But if your content don't have enough visibility, you don't remain relevant to your audience, right? So one of the most effective tools that I created and I used first, and then I created for my own community, is the engagement pod. And for those who don't know what is an engagement pod on LinkedIn, and the engagement circle is a clear example of that. These engagement pods are made of a group of professionals, in this case, LinkedIn members, who have created a group to stay together to help each other generate engagement. Yeah. And when one member of the engagement pod puts out a piece of content, something you've invested effort into, right? And it's relevant to your target audience, the group will receive a notification of this post, and they will come together, usually in the form of comments or like to engage with that post. And if this happens in the first 2 hours, LinkedIn grants more visibility and also helps you to reach more second-degree connection and third-degree connection. So you have more visibility with your own network, and also helps you to gather more network from second-degree connection and third-degree connection through your group members. Yeah. And the aim of these groups is to create engagement within these 2 first hours of building. On our engagement pod, which we fancy called the engagement circle, right? Is a community of extraordinary leaders. I surrounded myself with amazing professionals. And by joining us, you'll have access to organic solution for your marketing and sales on LinkedIn. I will share with you a file to understand why this is so effective and who are the members inside. But usually what we do at these events, we give spotlights to these members, because one thing that we do, we promote our members internally and externally to help them have more visibility and more leads. And we give them voice to introduce themselves, to talk about their experience on LinkedIn, inside the community, and what are the things that stood out for them and worked for them. And we have 2 amazing professionals here today. Julia Kurt, joining us from Geneva, Switzerland, and Derek Banga, joining us from Nairobi, Kenya. And I'll ask very specific questions, simple, because I want you guys to just talk freely about your experience. I have who wants to start first of all? But thank you for coming. Who wants to start? Julia, ladies first.
Ladies first, Eric.
Even in Kenya, ladies first. Yep, go for it.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so much.
And the purpose, right, is first of all to share who you are and what you do with whom. Why? Because you really need to understand why you are on LinkedIn, how to reach your audience, right? So we want to give perspective to the other participants, if it's working for you and what profession you have. And then share your experience with having a community around you, feeling less lonely and part of this community specifically, Julia.
Okay, thank you so much. So firstly, thank you for this opportunity, dear Ramona, and for this wonderful circle that we have. I sometimes also participate in Pauliina's content circle because that gives me time to really create something. And because I block it, so it's easier for me to focus. So I would really recommend Pauliina's content circle as well. So me, Julia Kurt, I'm a coach. I have, I had more than 32 years of solid multinational corporate experience in different roles, and I took the leap of faith after my redundancy to make myself an entrepreneur. And that's a complete new world for me. It's different. You need to do everything yourself. No one is doing anything for you. So that was a good experience, and it continues with my journey. I'm a coach, accredited career coach. I really focus on career, on professionals feeling stuck in the middle of their career, like a midlife career crisis. And I would like to take them from the midlife career crisis to get out of it. So break free from your hamster wheel, so to say, is also the title of my book that I recently wrote and which is available on Amazon. Apart from that, I'm also considering myself as a business coach. So I combine business as well as a family coach together, because with whom I ever coached, there was always something in the childhood. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm reaching out to 3 audiences. I think there is a background noise.
I think there's feedback coming from someone. So maybe if everybody can just mute themselves when they are speaking, that would be helpful.
That would be helpful. I think that's better. One is really individual coaching, one-to-one career professionals, families and parents. The other one really towards corporates, because I'm facilitating workshops. I've got my corporate experience there, as well as workshops around personal development, how to speak, leadership, how to raise their voice, also women focus, unconscious bias and innovation hackathons and innovation creative mindset. And the third pillar is really I'm owning a coach training school, because I still believe that we need to have more coaches in the world, not IT, no bankers, to make this world a better one. So I really believe in that, and that's my mission. Right? That's my mission, to make really this world a better one. Therefore, we need to have good, well-educated professionals, coaches, professionals. That's why I'm owning as well the coach training, because I believe in that. And apart from that, why I am in this wonderful circle? Because we support each other. Any posts that we have, we share. And we endorse each other. And that's really one of the mega things as well in LinkedIn on the algorithm. And I learn as we go with Ramona as well, Pauliina, about content, how to use LinkedIn in my favor. I've got a strategy as well, and the strategy is really to reach out to people who are in corporates, at the moment, Geneva and Zurich. Why I'm doing this? Because I've got a mega event coming up in November where the CEO of Noble Manhattan comes over, and I've got an event in Geneva and an event in Zurich. And I want to have the audience, I want to have the connection already. So when I start the campaign and invitations, people come. Yeah, so at least I've got 50, 60 people paying and coming into the hotels in Geneva or Zurich. So that's my strategy at the moment, but at the same time, to really make connections. And that needs to be genuine as well, Ramona, as you know, not just salesy, cheesy, etc. I use Sales Navigator. I use it, yeah, because I think it's powerful. You can create some sequence, but at the end, you need to put up this little cherry off the top, which is your last message. Everything can be automated until a certain point where you see a message saying, hey, you know what? I'm interested. You chip in and say, hello, how are you doing? Great, you good, you do great stuff. You know what? I want to connect. Or some people say to me even, hey, you know what? I'm not interested. I say, that's absolutely fine. I just want to get to know you. I love people. That's the thing. Do you have 15 minutes for me? Just want to create that connection. Don't give up when there is an I'm not interested. Fine, because we try maybe, or they perceive, hey, you know what? You want to sell something for me or what? You do the other, you step back. It's absolutely fine. What's important to connect? What's important to be genuine about? And that's what we do as well in our content circle. We are a nice little group where we have mutual collaboration. It's not competition. That's what I like. We support each other. We endorse each other. We see each other. And that's what I like the most in this wonderful engagement part that Ramona created for us, where we really are professionals, but professionals with a purpose, intention, and have served people. I mean, I'm seeing it as serving people because people are lost. And whatever Samar is doing is great. What Pauliina is great. You know, we need these people. And that's what you need to think about. It's serving. And that's would be my message here. And I know I have only 2 minutes. I even spoke too much. So I am handing over the stage to Derek.
And thank you very much, Julia, for sharing the experience. For me, is always something about learning, right? Because I did it first for myself, guys. And if it benefits you as well, I'm happy, you know? So yeah, the stages of Derek, I can't wait to learn more about you, Derek. Please share what you do, with whom you work, and then your experience with the engagement circle.
Brilliant. I hope you can see me. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Ramona, Pauliina. Amazing presentation. You know, when I was young, I loved the superhero genre. I love superhero characters. I wanted to be a superhero myself. The superpower I wanted to have was to be invisible. Now, fast forward 30-something odd years later, and I think I do have a superpower. And I still love the superhero genre. But my superpower today is to be seen, to be heard, and to be remembered for the right reasons. And that's exactly how I empower the professionals that I work with. I help them to be seen so that they can create an image for themselves, create a personal brand that sells themselves. I help them to be heard. So whether it's how they communicate, how they use their voice, how they use body language, heard for the right reasons, and remembered. Remembered maybe for that post on LinkedIn, remembered for how they handled a difficult client or challenging feedback. And I've been privileged to do that for the last 5 or 6 years. Now, I joined the LinkedIn engagement circle that Ramona created for obvious reasons. How can I talk about these things and not practice what I preach? In fact, if there was one area that I needed a little bit of help in, it was LinkedIn. And so for me, what this engagement circle or engagement pod has done, and apart from joining wonderful professionals like Sama, like Julia, like Pauliina, is it's actually allowed me to showcase my expertise on a platform that exponentially widens my reach. A post that you put there, as Ramona has explained, commented on in the first 2 hours, and I can reach more people than I ever thought possible. It's also allowed me to showcase not just my expertise, but why me amongst maybe the hundreds of thousands of people who do what I do. Help people to, become high performers, use interpersonal skills to get what they want to achieve. And being able to sort of narrow down and create a strategy, as Pauliina talked about, that's, I think, what was missing. And I still need to work on it. A strategy to my posts, a strategy to my LinkedIn content and my content creation has, in the few months that I've been a member of this wonderful group of professionals, helped me. And it can help you. I was just like you, those of you who are joining for the first time. I sat there and I listened to other professionals talk about this, how this has helped them. So if you want to increase your brand value, we now live in an age where people are Googling about you, are finding out about you when you're asleep. And your LinkedIn post can help you sell yourself the right way, can make that buying decision. People buy you before they buy any product or service that you have. It can make it easier. Why should people trust you? What are your values? And so I'm really delighted to be a part of this wonderful group. If there are any specific questions you have for me, I can continue talking on and on. Our time is limited. I'll be happy to answer them. I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. My company is called Public Image. I'd love for you to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you.
That's really lovely that you shared that. Again, I invite you all to connect on LinkedIn. I think it's an incredible opportunity that we have during these events is when we hear someone talking, expressing themselves, we develop a little bit of trustability already. And it's good then to continue the conversation on LinkedIn, because then the relationship needs to be strengthened. You need to understand more. You need to see if there's a fit. But these events are also a great opportunity for networking for us. And so just to wrap it up, I would love you to connect with some of our members, independently if you join the group or not join a group. We are very picky with new members because, as Julia said, we try to keep it a win-win, not competitive, and it's of high value. So we get to know each other very well to really help each other. So even if you don't join the engagement, I would love you to connect anyway with Pauliina. She's amazing with her content. Just by following her, you can learn a lot and create a calendar just by following what she puts out there. And same as Julia leads a lot of events. Derek also talks about very interesting topics and brings value to the conversation. And so to wrap it up, what I would like to invite you to do, first of all, create amazing content. If you don't know how, ask. Then promote your content. It's either you promote it by tagging people or you promote it because you have a community around you. This LinkedIn game can be overwhelming, can make you feel lonely, but it has an amazing potential. You have to be there. So make it about a community, a group, engage, promote it by leveraging other members. And then third, reach out if you want to talk about lead generation or brand, or if you need a coach, a mentor, if you need strategy around your communication, if you need other professionals that help you, reach out. I will share with you, of course, after the event, the PDF to see all our professionals, and I will invite you to join, and then we can have a conversation in order to give you more details. Now, if you want to stay another 2-3 minutes for questions around content, brand, lead generation, hashtag, whatever, you can remain. We will stay live another 2, 3, 5 minutes. And yes?
I need to go, my
Yes,
dear.
Julia.
Sorry, I need to be on a different meeting. It was great to meet you all, and let's stay connected.
Indeed, indeed. LinkedIn is the great place to connect or join us live at our events. Yes. Okay. Who has questions for Pauliina or for me or for Derek? Don't be shy.
Hi,
Emilio.
Ramona. Hi. So finally, I could attend to your to this event, to the many events you invited me. We already had a direct face-to-face, but I was really curious about all the things these amazing things you are doing actually. So I found this event really amazing. Thank you very much, Ramona. Thank you very much, Pauliina, and thank you all the ones that share something. I'm just quite curious on how does exactly this engagement circle works. I didn't get this very well. I mean, it seemed to me like you are kind of sticking together. This is a really amazing thing, but how does it really work? I mean, how is exactly I would say the technique, how it works actually for people that are not yet there. Thank you.
Well, I will just share a little bit, and then we can have a private conversation, of course, to give you more details. But the aim is to create a connected group of peers around you. You have to be part of a community, a group of professionals here on LinkedIn. And the aim of the group itself is to support each other, both with the promotion of your content. Exactly. Second, by introducing you, referring you, because once you are connected, once you know what is your business about, what is your content about, what are your values and all these other things, because you are reading every single day the content of others, we refer each other. You can refer the other person and you receive back. Okay. And then whatever questions you have, you first ask your circle, right? If you have a problem, or for example, if you have an event that you want to promote, you can ask your circle. Imagine 20, 30 people to help you promote your content. Each one of them invite 10 people. You have already 300 people on. You see what I'm saying? So also internal events like this, or external, where we ask people to join us and we give spotlights. Someone can share content, someone can share what they do, someone else can help with the question of the audience. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that this is a platform, LinkedIn, where you have to leverage a team if possible. Yeah, that is what works the best. The biggest influencers, they've created that authority for them because they were able to leverage this aspect of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a network. It's like going to a networking event with a team with you.
So you're kind of getting multipliers.
You see what I'm saying? So instead of creating one contact, you create hundreds of contacts, because each one of your team members help you generate business opportunity, help you with visibility. That's the main aim and purpose of a group. And then the technicality of this, like how it really works, well, that's a private discussion, and I'm happy to give you all the details.
Sure, but you don't need necessarily that this circle is exactly with people with your exactly the same profession you have, or no. You do. Okay.
No. So it would be good that your members, like the other members of the community, have reached to your target audience, right? So, but you don't have to be in the same industry. I don't have in my community other people doing directly what I do. I also have other members that we support each other. Like, for example, Samar, she's also a LinkedIn consultant, especially for recruitment, for LinkedIn profile optimization. She has network in other countries, and we collaborate. We support each other with content. And you have to be very picky with your community. I always recommend check the members, interact with them before, and really understand if they support your activity. That's why we are picky with the members. Why? Because we want members that can help us first, and then that can support us to have more business opportunities outside, but also to create friendship is also a feeling. Sure. We become friends. Pauliina just met with Julia the other day in the city, in real life. Right? So, and I think that is the ultimate purpose, is really to feel less lonely and doing, things on your own while you have people to share your stuff with. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Other questions, other things that you want to share, guys, or maybe questions for Pauliina? I loved the content, Pauliina. You're so effective with presentation.
Thank you, Ramona, for this lovely event. And Pauliina, your presentation was very informative and insightful. Thank you very much. I only have one question. It might be a bit technical, but how long a post should be, the content? How long should it be? Should it be too long, too short? For example, I found it's good that sometimes I do like 10 steps to achieve something, but sometimes it's too long for the audience to read 10 steps, 5 steps, So how long should a post should be like?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's kind of one of these how long is a piece of string questions, but it comes down to a few things. Of course, it depends on your writing style and your skills as a writer. I often say, because I work a lot with entrepreneurs and business owners who aren't necessarily trained writers or communicators, and then they get all overwhelmed because they hear like a SEO post should be 1,000 this and that, and they don't feel capable. So take that into account. If you're a good confident writer, you can write longer posts with ease. If you don't feel like that, maybe write a little bit less. Typically longer posts work again quite well on LinkedIn because their dwell time is longer, so people spend longer time on them, which leads them to the algorithm favoring those posts a little bit. So that can be one thing. But also another thing is your audience then. So you have the algorithm, you have your own skills, and then you have your audience, and to really know if they are busy, if they have a lot of time, and what they appreciate. And if, for example, if you don't want to write very long posts, you could break them down into series. Like if you have 10 steps to do something, you could create 10 posts and share one step per day and make it a series, because that kind of series can be very good in engaging and nurturing those relationships, because then people start remembering you. Or you could turn it into a carousel where each step is just one slide, one visual. So if you want to share all the 10 steps but you don't want to write them out, you can use visuals for that, and try to find a format that helps you get that message across. And finally, it's okay to have a little bit of variation. So ideally in your weekly or bi-weekly or your monthly schedule, you have some shorter posts, some longer posts, to keep things easy for you, so you don't always have to write necessarily a long post. Keep them interesting for your audience, so it's not always the same thing, and then you can vary and diversify it a little bit as well.
Thank you so much, Pauliina.
You're very welcome.
Can I add something really quickly? I think also the magic in a post is not just with the length, whether it's shorter or longer, but it's the magic is sometimes in the headline. So having a good headline that attracts people who can sit there, because we all know our attention spans are like this. We're like gnats. We're in and we're out. So having a great headline attracts people, and then they're more likely to engage with your post. And in fact, if I can recommend something, if maybe take a course or do some reading on copywriting. I think the power also in terms of how you express yourself is in learning these tips and tricks that copywriters do. And of course, fantastic people like Pauliina and Julia, they're amazing with their posts. Yeah.
And I can add one thing very quickly. I learned this from engaging with Pauliina, in fact. Pauliina, you said something about not to command. So it's good that you imagine or visualize your audience as a person sitting in front of you and you are talking to him or to her immediately. So the content will be like focusing on one thing, and if you are talking to one person. So the other side, people, when they read it, they will feel like, oh, he's talking to me immediately. So this is a nice thing that, from this engaging circle, in fact, I learned that.
That's great. So we keep learning from one another. So that's fantastic.
So Taha is asking here Taha, can you unmute yourself and ask directly? Because I think that one question was lost in the chat. Sorry for that.
Yeah, about the algorithm, there was something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is the algorithm of connection on LinkedIn in brief? We need more clarity around your question.
I mean, hey, Ramona.
Hi, Taha.
Okay, you are connected to the first level and the second level and the third level, okay? What is beyond that? How can you get beyond that?
Please let me understand if I get it right. You are asking how do you get to the second degree connection and third degree connection?
No, what is beyond that? Because okay, if you just check your connection level.
Oh.
Yes. This is
beyond
what
that.
I mean.
There's nothing. There's a level which are LinkedIn members that don't want to be recognized. So you don't have access to them only if you are related through work or projects, or they have a very private profile. So you have first degree connection, second degree connection, and third degree connection. And usually when you connect with a first degree connection, you have access to the second degree connection immediately, like you see them. While third degree connection, you can access only through specific tactics, like if you leverage, for example, content of influencers or stuff like this, events that are promoted massively by LinkedIn, or through members on LinkedIn that have specific interest in a specific industry that you are targeting. And you go to their network and you search and you look for the third degree connection. I don't know if I was very clear here, but it is easier to reach your second degree connection than the third degree connection.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I got it.
If it was clear for you, it's good. I hope
right. So you want to connect. You were asking about connecting with people who are third plus degree connections. Am I right?
Not exactly. What's okay? When you have for example, when you have somebody in your first degree connection, you will get to their second degree connection, and the second degree will get you to the third degree connection. I asked, my question exactly was, what's beyond that? I mean, how can you get to beyond that? Okay, let's say I am connected to French, to 10 people in French, and these 10 people have second and third connections, okay? If I get more connections in the second level, I will get more connections in the third level. And if the third level is connected to me, I will get to their second and third connection. This is what is I mean, what is the algorithm? When you talk about algorithm on hashtags and mentioning, there is an algorithm of connection as well.
Okay, I think this requires a little bit more understanding and the private conversation maybe, or even a chat on LinkedIn to get more into the details of this question.
I got you, Ramona.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
All right.
Thank you. You were so great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Taha.
Bye-bye.
We continue to keep in touch via LinkedIn. I'm aware of the time and I need to wrap it up. And thank you everybody for being present. Thank you, Pauliina, for the presentation, and you guys, Derek, Samar, and Julia, of course, for being here. I saw Andrea, I saw Leo was with us, Erwin was with us. All our members were supporting today, today's event and presentation. If you want to connect with us, we are all on LinkedIn. And when I will share the PDF with you guys, you will have access on all the links, like their websites, contact details, entry to funnels. All of us offer something of value to start the relationship and the conversation. And so I invite you to remain in contact with us. Thank you so much for the interaction during these events. And yeah, I'll send you the recording.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
For great questions. Lovely to meet you all and have a lovely rest of the day. Thanks, Ramona.
You're welcome.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.